The first show of 2025. It is January 17th, 2025, and I've been lax on getting this show started, not for lack of wonderful guests that I can invite every single week. And of course, this week I've got a great guest, somebody that I've been wanting to promote for the better part of 3 or 4 months now. They are a healthy channel and a growing channel, but they need more. So if you are not subscribe to the man that's coming on here next. Scribe Light is his name. You'll probably want to look down in the description below by the end of the show and make sure that you click that open in another window and subscribe to this man's channel. He is a brilliant conversationalist, very well educated, well spoken, and absolutely can tell you all about TED Talks. Just like you wouldn't believe. He is a connoisseur of TED Talks. I'm not sure he prefers that title that I gave him, but I hope at least he finds some humor in it. Now, without further ado, and without explaining what I do, let's talk to Scribe Light.
Hello.
How are you doing, Scribe?
I'm doing great. It's Friday, end of the week. I got a 3-day weekend ahead of me and get to relax and hang out with my sister in a couple of days. And I'm flattered as all heckaroo, as maybe Ned Flanders might say, to be invited on here. I'm glad to be here and nice to see everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day.
Oh, I just want to say he's a pal, and he has a very good hooks on the cultural zeitgeist, including being able to refer to Ned Flanders, which I think.
Oh yes, oh boy, yes. I'm hip with all the kids these days.
There you go. Well, we've got a few admirers to start off the show. I mean, Terry Rose is here, 31 minutes out. We've got the Tipping Barn. Good to see you, my friend. Jan Monroe out there. How early? Well, you were about 20 minutes early. Scribe himself is in the chat. We've got Juliet out there. Very early morning to you, Juliet. Welcome and thank you for saying good morning to me. And Randy Thodo, good to see you. We've got Tom F. What's going on? And Jonathan Conroy. Good suggestion here. Smash the like button. Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our great friend, Weatherman, just took care of us. And, of course, we got Ruby Hoof with a Culture Casino membership. That's 2 for the day. Thank you, Ruby Hoof. We had a lot of generosity this morning and throughout the day, so thank you. Tina BB is here. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. Pilgrim Media got that lovely gift from Ruby Hoof. And we've got Caleb Levine. What's going on, Caleb? Good to see you. We've got Barking Mad. I feel like that every single day. And Caradwin, all the way from, I'm going to say New Zealand, if the memory serves. It could be wrong. But there he is, the man himself, $5 for the working man from the Weatherman. Thank you, buddy. I hope you're not suffering a headache at all. So there's that. We got Penny, a few others. Everybody, I think a lot of people know who you are. It must be your fame over at Midnight's Edge.
It must be, because it could be nothing else elsewise.
I don't know. He does have his channel's pretty decent size, kids. I mean, Razorburn is throwing $2 at us and telling me that he's listening to Frontline Assembly. You go, brother.
Nice.
Actually, you know what? That might be tonight's dinner music with the boss. So that's a good choice. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of great things in my head right now. I got a couple front 242 songs in my head, and Pill, Public Image Limited. I mean, right now I'm alternating between being a rivet head and a true punk. So we'll see. Newfoundland. I knew it started with an N. Sorry, Caradwin. I hope that wasn't offensive. I hope not. But there you are. And you know what? I need to get started. And we need to get started because we've only got 90 minutes total and we've got an incredible show waiting for you right afterwards. You will be redirected to Ascendant Art and all the funny folks over there. That's a good way to spend a little bit of time. But in order to get started, we have to remember where we start. And we always start with 3 questions. Now, Scribe Light's already gotten the questions as normal. I'm going to tell you, unlike at a Biden debate, he got the questions in advance. Everybody does, so it's fine. All the other stuff, well, that's going to be off the cuff. But I'm gonna tell you, these 3 questions reveal a lot, an absolute a lot. So let's jump to the stinger and jump to the questions. Here we go. We're back after the stinger, 7 minutes into the show. And I have to tell you, the chat is here as well. Welcome, chat. We love you. Thanks for being there.
Hi, chat.
Yeah, good chat. Good chat. Pet the chat. All right.
You get a treat? You'd like a treat, Cat? Cat, you like a treat?
But we do appreciate it. So let's get on with it because we have much things to talk about.
Yes.
This first one I think is like kooky madooky, for lack of a better way to describe something. Bonkers sauce. I mean, I have a whole lot of preparations for these things that we go through here. And the preparations I did for this one was being shocked. I was
shocked.
I was flabbergasted because here's an article from the New York Post asking a question: is your dog actually watching TV? A vet reveals one theory. So, you know, and again, full disclosure, I find this fascinating. But this is part of Odd Stories. I jumped quite far forward. So,
I was about to say, was the first question, is your dog really watching TV? And like, well, I don't own a dog. But
No. And what's really funny is I made a mistake, which I often do. Because I'm supposed to be asking you questions about, and again, I am out of practice, about your film and television habits. And I'll get back to that. So let's start here. We'll do that first, and then we'll go back to the TV dog thing. I think that'll be better. So what is your favorite television show of all time? See, I screwed up.
It's all right. It's okay. Favorite television show of all time. Well, it's usually a toss-up between Deadwood and The Shield, but The Shield has the advantage of having been actually completed as a series. That's not That's not Deadwood's fault. That's HBO's fault. But The Shield. Started watching it in college. And every single episode is relevant. There are no filler episodes, and it has one of the most satisfying conclusions of any TV show I've ever seen before, and it's great. So if you haven't seen The Shield and you like cop shows, it benefited from the fact that there was a writer's strike at the time.
It gave him room. It gave him room.
Well, gave him room for that, but it gave him room to also, he was a writer's strike. Some kind of strike was going on, but anyway, they had access to Hollywood movie level casting people. And so for the most minor bit parts in the pilot episode, they had trained veteran actors in these minor parts that are still memorable even though they only appeared like once in one episode. And so they had all these like high level advantages for a pilot. And it's so good, and it sets everything up so, I mean, especially at the time, it was about as harsh as you could get on television. FX was really pushing the limits at the time.
Oh, I remember. I remember.
And the thing that I really appreciate about it is that there's a whole bunch of DNA connections between Homicide: Life on the Street and The Shield in both the actors that appear and the people behind the scenes. So I could recognize a lot of, and of course, its kissing cousin, The Wire. Right. So there's a lot of similar tone, character interactions, and sort of world building that take place. But yeah, if you haven't seen The Shield, I think it's on Hulu or something now, but I've got all mine in a giant box set, so definitely recommend it.
So Deadwood, it wasn't its fault. It was HBO's fault. But did you remember why?
Well, they said it cost too much. They said it was too expensive to maintain, and David Milch was basically told we can't afford to keep paying for this. That was the common line as I understood it.
So I heard that they were worried about money.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Chiklis was not going to get cheaper. If I remember, that's who the actor was, right? That was it.
Oh, in The Shield?
Yeah.
Yeah, The Shield. Well, no. So Deadwood ended only after, 3 seasons?
Right.
The Shield went on 7 seasons up to its completion.
Right. But
Deadwood was, I'm suddenly forgetting everybody's names, but, the British actor guy and Justified guy. I'm suddenly forgetting. I know. I can see their faces. I know the characters' names.
But I'm saying was Chiklis was in The Shield, right?
Yes, Chiklis was Chiklis was the star of The Shield. Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't for that reason. I was just saying the reason why was because of another HBO show that was very expensive as well.
Oh, Timothy Oliphant. That's what it was. Ian McShane and Timothy Oliphant. Thanks, guys, in the chat.
Yeah. Do you remember what was on opposite Deadwood?
It was Rome, I think. Wasn't it?
You had a number of really expensive shows that were all being done at the same time, and so Showtime suffered the same problem as well. So when you have things that are expensive, like you're launching another show, like maybe like a True Blood, because you're really happy with what Ball's doing, or you're coming up on clearing the road for a novel based series that's going to be very expensive. It was 100% about money, why they killed Deadwood, and they just couldn't afford to do all these great shows or prep all these great shows ahead of time, let alone, do you remember how much Sopranos cost by the end? Holy cow.
Oh yeah.
And it was a real loss. Deadwood was one of my favorite shows. I loved it, and in exactly what you said about The Shield, same thing. There wasn't an episode wasted in that show. There wasn't fluff. There were no fillers. It was gritty beginning to end.
Yep. And it was all like every single episode was like a little movie unto itself. And even though it was episodic in a way, it was able to keep the storylines flowing without feeling like you were just watching an 8-hour-long movie, as the binging stuff would eventually become. Because these were pre-streaming binging shows that still retained an episodic nature, but kept everything in continuity as it went along. It's very an art that seems to have been lost lately.
Yeah, and again, as you point out in The Shield, you had people that shouldn't have been there.
Eventually you had Glenn Close, you had Forrest Whitaker, you had big name people, because they had such a quality regimen of writing and acting and excellence, that because those first few episodes, that first season, with all the advantages that they had from the Hollywood people that were sort of in the wind at the time, set a standard that everybody admired.
Yeah, well, and again, it's the conversation that we have all the time. It's a great dialogue. That show was good because the dialogue was phenomenal. I mean, and you were writing based on real things, which is, as you said, The Kissing Cousin was The Wire, the Baltimore cop show, which was amazing.
Yes.
If you know anything about Baltimore, if you've ever been around there, it's exactly what it still looks like that today.
Yeah.
Like, you just go drive around, even around the amazing medical center that's there. You're like, wow, this looks like the show still, which is bad. They had a politician there recently, with a really interesting name. Can't remember her name, but she was running for office there. Of course, she got beaten out because she had conservative ideals, but she really made a lot of good points and walked through the areas of Baltimore that I'm not sure a lot of people would. And she's walking around in high heels. I cannot for the life of me remember her name. But yeah, anyway, so sorry. I'm easily distracted by good television because there isn't much of it, and that was good television.
Yes, it was.
And I do feel good for Timothy Oliphant, although a little dumbed down and not quite as good a dialogue. But when he got that gig as the shooting sheriff there,
Justified.
Justified. I thought that was. I guess he's not really a sheriff. He's a national lawman, right? Or Texas wide law. Am I correct? What's that called?
Is he? He's not a ranger. He's oh gosh, I'm suddenly forgetting. But I mean, but at the same time, though, when your first real big job is being written by David Milk, it's really hard to beat that in a second job. So I don't really hold that against him. But U.S. Marshal, is that it?
Yeah. U.S. Marshal. Yeah, Marshal. They kept calling him Marshal. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Man, I don't know why I can't. This is the problem with doing the show because I have like 1,000 different ideas right now because you mentioned this great television show.
Well, then we're in trouble because I go all over the place too. Maybe we should go on to question 2 before we get off into the woods too much.
All right, fair enough. Let's do it because we are on a time schedule for both of us. Let's get to number 2, and just remember, this is Scribe Light. For those of you, if you're looking to subscribe to this man, it's down in the description below. All right, this one's important because it's going to tell everybody all about you. You will have no more secrets after you answer this.
Oh no.
Yeah, here's the question. What film is your go-to film when you're homesick or you're homesick?
Well, it's The Hunt for Red October.
Oh, wow.
Greatest film ever made. There's one narrative flaw. I will never deny that there is one narrative flaw. Elsewise, a perfect film. And I might be a little facetious there, but that is my go-to answer for when it comes to the greatest film of all time. I just say Hunt for Red October. I do love it. What does that tell you? Read the tea leaves. Read the Ouija board on me. What does that tell you?
Nothing. You're much into intrigue. You like geopolitical thrillers. And, you much admire a particular author.
It's true. Tom Clancy.
Mr. Clancy. Yeah. So I don't know what else it tells me. I mean, I think I already know your favorite Bond.
What's my favorite Bond?
Oh, come on.
What?
He's a bit of a Scot, what I would say. But
no, George Lazenby. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Hey, Majesty's Secret Service had the most downbeat ending, had the best opening music.
Look, I can't deny I love George Lazenby, but he's my second Bond.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing about Hunt for Red October that's a little bit more inside baseball, directed by John McTiernan, who also did Predator, who also did Die Hard. That guy was a Renaissance man when it came to just busting open genres. Predator, one of the best sci-fi monster movies of the 80s. Die Hard, one of the greatest action movies of all time. And Hunt for Red October, the ability of him and the writer to condense such a complex geopolitical thriller with submarines into 2 hours and make it make sense to your average audience member. Yeah.
I have the hardback somewhere in this room. I'm looking for it right now. But that book's like this thick. The Sum of All Fears is like this big.
Oh, The Sum of All Fears is great. The movie version is absolute garbage, but man, Sum of All Fears should be like a streaming series or something.
Reading through those, you're like, and of course, the way they condensed it, adapted it,
yes,
I thought was brilliant, right? Hunt for Red October is like almost a perfect adaptation. So, but the fact that you didn't immediately answer Sean Connery is going to bother me for the rest of my life. So,
well, I mean, my George Lazenby answer is again a little facetious.
He is the baddest Bond.
Yeah, he's not the best Bond. It's true, but he's kind of a sentimental favorite because he had one shot and he had the one movie where Bond loses at the end.
And I'm going, yes, well, yeah. Well, and again, they played on that a second time, by the way. But
yes, they did.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lazenby told Albert Broccoli to his face, and I'm going to say a bad word on a show during the daytime. I
Uh-oh.
apologize. So
I'm
cover
covering
your
my
ears.
ears. Yeah, I'm covering my ears. Okay.
He told Albert Broccoli to go fuck himself.
Mm.
So he was never he was never Bond again.
Yeah. He was.
done.
Yeah, no, the actor was a diva and everything else, but I think his characterization came the closest to the books in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
He's not the best Bond, but I think that movie might be one of the better representations of the character.
Yeah, no, he was the best at being a cad, right?
Yes,
Because that's what you
yes.
expect of Bond. He was also the most physical Bond. He was capable of doing all the physical things himself and do them quickly rather than sometimes a little bit roughly. I will say. So, Lazenby's a great choice. All right, we got way off on that one too.
Yes.
This is going to be a long show. So
Yeah.
stick around all 90 minutes.
I don't have a short answer for the third one either, so you might have to just let me talk and get it over with as quickly as I can.
All right. Well, congratulations. You picked a great movie to watch over and over and over again. So,
Yes.
all right. Third question. Let's get to it. What was your best film experience? Now, it doesn't have to be best film,
No.
but the things happening around it.
Yes.
Because a lot of people
Oh,
misunderstand that question because they're going to give me their best film. That's not what I want. I want to know what your best film experience is.
All right. Well, it was May 19th, 1999.
Ooh.
I skipped college to go see opening day of The Phantom Menace. Now, everybody and their brother wanted to see this movie, and there was stories and stories and stories of the days previous about people.
There.
Oh yeah, people camping out and getting ready. I was
there.
like, I got to see this opening day first showing. I just have to. I'd gone to all of the special edition releases on the opening night. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was like 3 years old. I was so excited, but I got to get there early. The line's going to be insane. So I skipped college that day. I think I was near the end of my term at that point, and took the bus over. The box office was going to open at 10 a.m. I got there at 7 because I just wanted to make sure. And it was a cold May morning. It was really weird. It was very, very cold, and so I felt bad for anybody camping. So I go to this the shopping complex that's an outdoor complex. And it's like 3 levels high. And I'm running off the bus stop and I'm running over. I got to get there. I got to get in line, get a good seat. And I take the escalator all the way up to the 3rd floor and get off the escalator. I turn the corner and there are people camped out in front of the box office. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
I'm the 9th person in line.
Oh no, really?
There was 8 people were camped out ahead of me. I was like, oh, okay, good. And so I get there and I'm fine, but they've been there overnight. They're freezing. They got their camping stuff and their sleeping bags and everything, but they're just sitting around like hanging out. And so I'm standing there just chatting with a bunch of other Star Wars nerds for a while. And as the first hour goes by, more people start queuing up and the line starts building.
Yeah.
At 8 o'clock, the seafood place, which was just across the way, a couple people come out with these big trays full of clam chowder bowls, and they're selling them to the crowd for $2. And they're not little like Dixie cups or anything.
They're big bowls. Yeah,
they're decent bowls at $2 a pop. And we're like, wow, great! So everybody in line's like eating clam chowder and getting warmed up and talking about Star Wars. Like, this is great. This is great. And then at 8:30, kitty corner to the theater was a Hooters, and all the Hooters girls come out and they start handing out free wings to everybody.
Oh my!
Everybody gets like 2 free wings, and you got the Hooters girls, and it's cold out, and they're not wearing much. I'm just saying,
and so the natural effect of that.
Yeah, so you've got a line of Star Wars nerds talking about Star Wars, eating clam chowder and free wings with pretty girls and low. It is a nerd's dream, and we haven't even gotten to the movie yet. Yeah. And so those 3 hours went by like lickety split because it was great. And then, they open up the box office at 10. Everybody's like, yeah. And we go up there and we get our tickets. We go into the theater. Everybody's just, you hear that trope all the time of how you could cut the air with a knife, right? The tension is electric, whatever. It was literally true. I don't know that I've ever had a movie experience where every single person in the audience was hyped to the gills to see something. Maybe the closest I could come is maybe one of the Avengers movies. maybe Infinity War, maybe Endgame. But other than that, everybody there was just keyed up. And then, of course, the lights start going down a little bit. Everybody's like, yeah. And then we watch the previews. And then, of course, the lights go down even lower. And everybody's like, yeah. And then you get those dun, 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 dun. And everybody's like, yeah. And of course, as soon as the 20th Century Fox intro is done, everybody's like, shh. Because everybody in the room knows you got to have that moment of silence before the big reveal, right? And you could hear a pin drop and just like a little whispering and everything. And they said, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and you hear all these people go, oh. And then suddenly, bah, bah-da-da. And it's like, yeah, it was like a political rally or something. It was crazy, and it was just nuts. And it was, the movie, even though I had thoughts about it after the fact, you add up all that stuff, playing hooky from school, ending up with a bunch of nerds, clam chowder, wings, pretty girls, movie, everybody's excited. Greatest movie experience of my life.
Yeah. Wow, you and I had similar experiences, and you described it to a T. The everything about what you said is accurate, except I spent the night. And
okay.
And I had food, I had rolling ice chests, I had everything. I had a group of people I was there with. It was all reminiscent of like when I saw the first film. When it was just Star Wars before it was A New Hope, at the biggest screen I could see. Well, where I was living at the time, there's a complex of 25 screens, and there were several of them that were enormous, not quite equal to the one I saw the original film on, but that Phantom Menace experience. So I know of what you speak, and we also had not anything like what you had. Apparently, nerddom came to where you were,
Yeah.
but we did have restaurants about that brought over food and stuff like that, just at a huge steep discount, just to sell a burger a piece for the Burger King that was right there by the theater and all that. And so it really was a unique experience. The night before we ordered Domino's, right? But it was you were describing a situation with which I am familiar and had it no maybe not the same experience. It sounds like yours would have rivaled anybody's experience ever at a film. So well done.
It was amazing.
Um,
It was
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, sounds good. So congratulations and thank you. See, now we have more insight into Scribe. So I feel like we went the right way, but I want to get moving forward, despite the fact that we've been entertained for 37 minutes. I think. My goodness, is that right? No,
The clock says 28 or
28.
20.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Sorry, when my glasses and my eyes are not working together, I see things. But let's move on because we only have 1 hour of show left, and I don't want anybody to miss a thing. I sound like a famous rock group. All right, let's jump into those weird news stories, and we already know which the first one is, but let's get there anyway. Thank you, Scribe, and here we go. Scribe Light's going to tell us what he thinks of that first story that many of you got a preview to, and many of you don't. But we've got some weird questions to get to, and a weird story to boot. We've got the dog situation. That's right. Is your dog actually watching TV? The vet reveals one theory. So this story is actually from today. I was able to source a lot of from today's stories, which oftentimes I don't get to, but there was a lot of weird that happened today. So dog owners are likely positive their furry friends watch TV with them when they're gazing on the screen. Now, bad pun intended. That's pretty well done. In fact, this is weird because I knew this was happening, right? Like there's channels like TVs become geared towards pooches with channels like dog TV. See, when I was growing up, they said dogs can't even see their reflection in a mirror. So how could they possibly process a television? They see in black and white. They don't have enough rods in their eyes. If you guys don't know what that references to, it's a piece of science. But like parrots are the only things that have eyes that are similar to humans, just FYI. But so Dog TV was created for them and their owners to watch together, apparently. So there are also plenty of viral videos on TikTok of people's mutts reacting to shows and movies. So I ask you, is this real or balderdash?
I think dogs, like cats or anything else they can see, are reacting to movement and shapes that can be represented on a screen. If especially with the quality of screens these days versus like CRT monitors from back in the 80s or something. So yeah, because we've seen plenty of videos where like a dog's following the action on the TV screen and then like runs past the TV screen thinking that the animal on the screen is going to continue off into reality. You've seen those videos before?
Yeah. So you think this is what they're sensing or seeing is motion, or maybe they can identify shape, and then
between shape, because I mean, if you have a anatomically correct dog on the screen, even if it's a cartoon, because I've seen animals reacting to Disney movies with certain animals and things running around, and seemingly having some awareness of what they are or barking at them or whatever else. So yeah, it's shape, it's movement, it's sound, and with the quality of TVs these days, it probably they can tell that there's something there technically.
So it acquits itself well enough for the dog to get a sense. So according to, and this I didn't know they actually had, a veterinarian ophthalmologist.
I guess they have to exist. Sure, why not?
Sure. Yeah, at Wisconsin's Madison School of Veterinary Medicine, explained that while dogs can see what's on the screen, they're likely glancing at it rather than focusing on it, and it's not something that you can train your dog to do. Okay, fair enough. There are dogs that will watch movies, but they're actually the outliers. This particular person, Dr. Mowat, told The Guardian, dogs mostly watch TV in very short segments, commercial length amounts of time. So, like a teenager these days, that's their attention span.
It could also be dogs emulating their owners, because the owners are sitting there and watching the screen and the lights and the movement and everything. They might do it too, because that's what my owner's doing, so I'm going to do that too. And especially if you get positive feedback from doing so, if the dog jumps up on your lap and starts looking at the TV, and you start saying, "Oh, you like watching the show, boy?" and petting them and everything, it's like, "Oh yeah, okay. Well, if I look this way and I sit on this couch, I'm going to get pets." So there's a whole bunch of different factors that could be at play.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I like to get pets too. But anyway, so I think there are some dogs, according to this doctor, that know it isn't real and don't mind. But there are many dogs who think TV is just boring.
Well, they're not wrong most times.
I don't know. I don't know that you can teach a dog to be a consistent watcher of 2-hour movies versus 1 to 5 minutes. And I'm on that side of the thing, right? That they don't have a lot of tension. Have you ever seen a dog? I mean, they'll go from chasing something to like licking their butt, like in a snap of a finger. So.
Yeah, they have the attention span of a gnat. It's
Yeah. So, but if
that is cute. That's
cute.
a cute picture, though.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know. I want to see what the audience says, though. Don't you want to see what the chat's saying? I do.
Of course.
I do. So let's take a look. Do you guys think that dogs are watching TV? I think you're operating doggo there, bud. Ah, okay. I don't really feel like that. Dogs don't watch TV. Some dogs watch movies. What?
How do they tell the difference?
I don't know. I'm in a weird place right now. I'm just
magic, voodoo magic.
Randy Thoda says a poll of 1,000 furries found that. Okay, fair enough. I get it.
Is it a dog or is it just someone in a dog costume?
I don't know. Emily is here. Hi, Emily. She's great.
Hi, Emily
Kruger. Hail. Well, hail to you, dear. And do you think dogs watch TV, hun? I'm just curious. Let's see. Oh, Razorburn, I'm so sorry we didn't get to your thing during our talk there. Empire Strikes Back line was around the building, but loved chatting with fans. I was 10 years old. Oh, you were young like me, buddy. You and I were the same age. I didn't realize we were that close in age. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let's see what else. Jeremiah Hembry, what's up, buddy? He's been a member for 12 months. Thank you. ING video game journalists are being fired. Oh, IGN. Yes, that's a typo.
Yes.
You're fine. I just said it. They're being fired. They need to learn a lesson is not to put politics in everything. Boom. And you know what? Everybody's being fired right now. Remember I said this was the year of the layoff? Yeah, I did a 6-minute daily all about it. Oh, I knew what you meant, Jeremiah. You're great. And thank you for that wonderful member chat. Penny says, my cats watch TV. And see, that I believe. Right, because I think cats are more in our world than we think, because they are incredibly observant. They're very patient. Well, think about how long they'll look at a bug before they kill it.
Yes. They're also good at just sitting still and staring off into space for a long time too.
Okay, all right, but I would like to believe that cats might have a paw up on dogs when it comes to watching television. I don't know. That's just me. Yeah. Let's see. We got Mutant Benhammer says, real question: do those animals know? Do those animals known as Gen Z watch TV? I don't know.
They watch TikTok. They don't have the attention span for TV.
Yeah, I mean less than the dogs. I'm kidding. For those of you that are Gen Z, these are good-natured jokes. It's part of a thing called humor, or we used to call humor anyway.
Yeah, back in the old days.
Yeah, which somebody like Bill Burr forgot that was important.
Oh, man, that was sad.
Yeah, silly. Pet Brett's in the house. He says, wait, I highlighted it. What happened? There we go. Pet Brett says, dogs have been going behind the TV to catch the other dog for decades. That's actually true. I've actually witnessed that. So I think you mentioned that they'll just go running by it and looking for.
Yeah, if they're following the motion of the thing on the screen and then expecting it to come out the other side. Yeah,
that's a good question. See, and Caleb says that not a dog, but my cat loves watching Charles Bronson movies. Well,
there you go.
Charles Bronson movies are fantastic. I feel like all of the Death Wish series is fantastic.
Mr. Majestic.
Yeah. We got Lost for Words for £2 sterling. That's proper money, ladies and gentlemen. It's a thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up, my friend. Let's see. Anybody else? My dog enjoys Old Yeller.
Ew, that's sad.
While my cat makes it a point to check his stocks every day. See?
Does your cat also wear a suit and a tie? Because that'd be great.
By the way, I still think the cat meme with what's her name is the best. Cameron Diaz. That's one of the.
Oh, with her screaming at the cat and the cat just going like, ha ha, yeah. I think it's great. There was one I saw the other day where it was the cat was replaced with Pete Hegseth, and the yelling lady was one of the people screaming at him on the committee or whatever. That was funny.
Oh, you guys, this is fantastic. The chat's on fire. So look, we will be stuck on this forever. I just wanted to drop this as a story because I was fascinated. I know that's weird, but I was fascinated. I was also fascinated by man's or computers' inhumanity to women. There was a weird story going around that I know for a fact you've been prepped on. Brad Pitt responds after Catfisher impersonated him using AI to scam French woman out of $850,000.
This is just absolutely insane. I mean, you hear romance scams sometimes of the elderly who have been mentally impaired in some way or otherwise can be taken advantage of. I don't know if this lady has some kind of issue in that wise, but it sounds even worse. She, as far as I understand it, she divorced her husband, and with the money she got from the divorce, gave it to this scammer who she thought was Brad Pitt. It's nuts. Yeah. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. And this is something that Brad Pitt's rep said to obviously the New York Post or whoever it was that they were talking to. It's awful that E-News, excuse me. It's awful that scammers take advantage of FAM's strong connection with celebrities, but this is an important reminder not to respond to unsolicited online outreach, especially from actors who have no social media presence. I did not know that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's plenty out there that don't, but yeah, I Brad Pitt specifically, I never looked him up. So yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have any social media accounts on Instagram, X, or TikTok.
It's probably wise. I don't know how a star of his stature could even manage any of that without just hiring somebody full time to do it for him.
Right, exactly. And what's crazy is Brad Pitt, this is not Brad Pitt, in a
No.
hospital with a little card that says, and love you. Fascinating. But, a lot of people were saying that looks like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers.
I saw somebody actually go to the effort of swapping out all those faces with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers just as a joke. Not really, but maybe passingly. I just wonder how many other people thought they were talking to Brad Pitt. She couldn't have been the only one that he was pulling this on. Maybe just the largest money dollar amount.
I don't know, but apparently she was already in the midst of a divorce from her much older millionaire husband. She didn't believe the message was real at first, and then obviously got catfished over the course of the next 18 months. Can you believe
18
that?
months. 18 months without like some kind of direct proof. I don't. Well, see, like I said, I have family members who have been scammed. Yeah, like they got the Amazon email that said that you've ordered this $700 item. You better contact us if you don't want us to charge you. Right. And then they got caught in the spider web of that kind of stuff. It's the same old scam that you see on some of these scam baiting channels where they go in and they edit the web page to make it look like you just transferred too much money to them or something else. Anyway, so but those family members were elderly, like they needed someone to be watching over them, and at that particular moment they weren't. But this lady, she's like what, in her 40s, I think, or something.
She had a much older husband.
Yeah, and I don't, as far as I know, I don't think she had any other sort of cognitive impairments. 53. Okay, yeah, so she didn't have any, again, as far as I know, she didn't have any cognitive impairments, but to go 18 months without any corroboration on who you're talking to, especially Brad Pitt, of all people, I don't know. I don't want to start blaming the victim here in this case because I don't know all the details, but barring something else going on, I don't know how anyone could go that long without asking a couple of reasonable questions that would just dispel this immediately. I don't know. It's bizarre to me.
Yeah, I guess she got a lot of harassment because people were calling her dumb. So the French station that originally interviewed her, TF1, pulled that interview. So now you can't find it anymore. Yeah. Crazy stuff. I mean, man's inhumanity to man, or I don't know, but it's sad. And
well, these guys, they only have to, they can send these kind of things to 1,000 people. They only need one person to catch it, the right person, and then they're set for life. So I doubt they're ever going to find this person, but hopefully they can track down the money and maybe claw it back somehow, but who knows?
Yeah, my expectation is rather not.
Probably not. It's all in crypto now or something.
Yeah. 53. Tina was on top of it. See our audience. Ask a question. Audience has it. Hey, Kit Kat's here with a Kit Kat. It's so easy to check to see if a celebrity is in the hospital. I wonder why she didn't check. I don't know.
It's all this stuff that's just like with one. I mean, if this was happening 30 years ago, I might be able to understand it more. But with the access to information that we have now at our fingertips, just one Google search would have said that this is nonsense. 18 months is a long time to go without at least checking something. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of things. It's fine. Yeah. You're fine. Stage 4 anything or all of that. AI is getting scary and blurring the lines of reality. I agree with that, Caleb. There's a hilarious video from a podcast or radio show where a guy impersonated Gary Busey talking buttered sausage with AI. It looked real. Interesting. Well, apparently Neil Gaiman was talking buttered sausage with somebody.
Oh boy, buttered something, buttered biscuits.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, enough humor, enough frivolity on this show. Let me tell you.
Yes, no more of that.
We've got only 45 minutes left till Ascended Art, so we've got to move on to the next insane story that I have for you, Scribe.
I am ready.
All right. I don't know. I wasn't ready for this because apparently a woman was surprised after being declared dead.
Okay, so was this a paperwork mistake, or did she like pass out in the hospital and they zipped her up and took her down to the morgue? How extensive are we talking here?
I don't know, but I think the headline is open for interpretation, which is kind of wild.
Surprise!
That's right. So Nicole Polino discovers she is registered as deceased, saying the development really messes up my life.
That would do it, yeah. Especially if
Great.
a whole bunch. I can just imagine like it's like you're officially deceased as declared by the state, and a whole bunch of things happen automatically as a result of that, and then you have to try to turn back the clock on all this bureaucracy. I can imagine that's probably what happened.
I would just say that's a lot of unfuggling that you have to do. We'll say it
Who does she sue for that one? I wonder.
I don't know, but it's interesting. So she's not wrong. I could imagine it would really mess up your life. But this was, I guess, reported from the UK. I guess this is her, but it's from Washington. I don't know why all this. It's because it's Sky News. They just don't know how to credit things. But she was in Gaithersburg in Maryland and made the discovery after applying to renew her driver's license. That's not convenient. She said she was left frightened and surprised as a text informing her she was officially dead popped up in the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration's system.
I'm sorry, we can't renew your license. You're dead. What?
Yeah, this is weird. So it appears that I am deceased, she told NBC4 Washington, which is part of, I guess, Sky News. Well, that makes sense. I got a little frightened, I'm not going to lie, and surprised because I'm alive. I'm here.
Well, oh my gosh, it's very binary.
Certainly, yes. I mean, that state kind of is, right? You're either alive or you're dead. I mean, I guess technically you could be mostly dead, but
that'd be Billy Crystal territory.
That's right, exactly. Officials then informed Miss Polino she could not renew her license.
But I'm right here.
Because she was described as a deceased taxpayer, according to the IRS. So that's who you sue. You sue the IRS. They're going to come looking for some taxes, I imagine.
Oh, my gosh.
Health insurance for the mother and her 3 children was canceled.
Yep, this is what I'm talking about. You got it like as soon as someone's declared deceased, a whole bunch of things automatically click off, and it's uphill battle to try to unring that bell.
We have to write a screenplay about this. The day I died was surprising. Wow. Insanity.
I mean, if the state suddenly declares you dead and everything goes sideways, what if that happened to the one guy that wants it to happen?
It's a win.
Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. If you have a common name, I can imagine this happens regularly. But
right.
She does not have a common name.
No.
Nicole Polino. What are there, like 6 of those in the country?
Oh, there's probably more than that. But I mean, in Maryland specifically, probably not many.
Yeah, just saying. And especially in Gaithersburg.
And why does the health insurance turn off for the children? Because, like, if your mom dies in a car accident,
Mom's
suddenly...
not dead. I mean, mom's dead. I know. The kids aren't. I mean, did they all die? Was it a minivan crash? I hear about that. Anyway. I don't know.
Virtual minivan crash.
I don't know. But what does the audience think? I always like that question. What does the audience think? Let's see. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. This is AI conversation.
No,
sorry, went too far back. Dan's like, for flip's sake. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty crazy. Let's see. Chad St. John from the previous reference to Neil Gaiman. That's not chocolate. Mucky Chivas. I'm sorry. This is good. At least Ruben has seen his scammer in streams. Well, there you go. Who else is out there? Chicagoan was one of the first I remember here. I don't know. I mean, the question is, did she vote? Wait a minute. Tom F says, my wife got a thing from the county one saying she was deceased. Also, they were saying, sorry, your family members. This was in New Jersey. Oh, you're kidding me.
New Jersey, I could see it. Their systems are archaic.
That's nuts, Tom. Man, we really have to write a screenplay now. Maybe she thought she became a ghost. I don't think she thought she was a ghost. I think the state thought she was a ghost.
Actually, the screenplay could be you get declared dead, but then you find out somebody else was declared dead, and then you get sucked into some kind of mystery over how that person died as a result or something like that. Like you have a relatively common name.
Since we're going to have an external revenue service, maybe this is a case for them.
No, this is for the Eternal Revenue Service if you're dead.
True story. Yeah, they're working on that one too, I bet.
I better tell Mikey that one for future plans.
You should. And no windows here, Mike. Kit Kat with a Kit Kat says, did her husband declare her dead, or is she divorced? Or if so, maybe her ex declared her dead to get out of support payments.
Oh, now there's an idea. That's an
I'm
idea.
going to tell you right now. I'm one of those guys that I think that child support should be on a debit card that can be tracked by all parties. Yeah, because I really do think that child support's often not spent on support for children.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Keep everybody honest.
Pet Brett says, just do something slightly against the law and watch the courts re-alive her faster than you can say stolen identity. That's true. Pet Brett on top of things. Tina Beebe says, Hawkeye Pierce. Oh, I remember that episode of MASH.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was all fun and games until the army notified his dad. And then they cut off all of his benefits, like his paycheck. And it was like they couldn't get through to his dad on the telephone, that it was all a mistake. That was crushingly difficult for me. So yeah, the positive and negative side, it's like it was kind of a reverse Ebenezer Scrooge moment for that episode, if I'm not mistaken. So, do you remember that episode, Scribe?
No, I'm not nearly the MASH aficionado that you are.
Oh, I love MASH. You should watch it. That episode was great. I used to watch it.
I used to watch it with my parents as a kid, but I didn't see every episode.
Well, I have a digital rip of everything. I could send you the whole thing. So. But that's crazy. Let's see who else is out there.
There
was a deep
there?
cut. Showing my age. Hey, no, there's nothing wrong. Look, I know very young people, like some of the youngest people in my audience that have watched and continue to watch MASH. Look, there's something classic about that's good writing, right, Scribe?
Yes, good writing, good acting, and back when episodic television was done right. You kept stayed within the lines. You told a story. You had a beginning, middle, and end, and a little bit of continuity here and there, but nothing that you had to depend on episode to episode. Yeah, back in the good old days.
The good old days. These are the good old days. So, anyway,
Betty Davis, is that you?
No, that was kind of my terrible version of Karen. What's her name? But anyway.
Oh, okay.
Let's take a look at the last weird story because we must move on. We must press on.
Yes. Lee press-on nails.
Yeah, I will say this. I did not see this coming, despite the name change. But there are some U.S. states not running on Dunkin' Donuts because of a supply shortage. You told me something I didn't know before we started the show.
Yeah, they recently. They recently. Well, last I heard, maybe they changed it back. But even at the subheading of that picture there, they just call it Dunkin'. They took the donuts out of the name. They're just called Dunkin' now. And there you go. The first sentence of the article.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, Dunkin' dropped the donuts from its brand name years ago. I don't remember that either.
Yep, I knew that.
Because where I are, it's Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay. And not
So
every franchise location, I think, did so, but I think corporate-wise, they did.
that's really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you own a brand, Disney, you do not change the name of the brand. Disney. Like
Well, they
20th
wanted to,
Century
they wanted to
Fox.
convince people they weren't just donuts, and nobody ever thought they were just donuts. But now I think they were in competition with Starbucks, and so they wanted to boost up, start getting out of the sense that they have one product or something.
They have, dude. Okay. So first of all, they have great wraps for breakfast. Obviously, they have incredible coffee selection. They make sandwiches, right?
Mm-hmm.
They really had a lot of offerings at Dunkin'. I went to Dunkin' Donuts since I was a kid. This is why, like, this would be like changing the name London Fog, right? This was an episode of Mad Men going back a few years ago. You do
Mm-hmm.
not change the name of a brand that is basically like part of iconography. It is like
Right.
this is no everybody knows this, right? This is a celestial like trademark. You should not
Yeah.
don't touch it.
Let's call ourselves Max and just forget that whole HBO thing.
That was super dumb.
Yes, it
HBO
was.
is monolithic in its singularity that
Mhm.
drives people to see things. They associate HBO with quality, and guess who decided? Oh, we need more of that. David Zaslav figured that out. Good gravy.
Mhm.
Anyway, sorry, I go off on those things, but I have to ask you: if first of all, was this a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Well, what's exactly to blame for the shortage? I guess
I don't know. It says
due
here,
to a manufacturing error. Did they
Where
not put the holes in them or something?
I don't. How do you not? First of all, I watched them make the donuts at my location. Drive-through kiosks informing customers that pastries were unavailable due to a manufacturing error. You could get the donut holes themselves. Like we,
I thought didn't they used to make them fresh there on site.
I know.
So maybe since they dropped the name, they got rid of that, and to save money, they just started like shipping them in or something. Make it less specialized as far as the workers. I mean, that would cut down on training. That would cut down on a whole bunch of extra costs if that's what they were trying to do.
So, but it's a lot of locations. It's like throughout Albuquerque, Omaha, stopped by. So Omaha was a problem. Albuquerque, that's New Mexico. Those are not close to each other.
Some employees chalked it up to a supply chain issue, and others said simply that delivery trucks had been arriving without the cargo that the chain is famous for. Hope to be replenished within the next week. Yeah, like I said, I mean, if they were out of the supplies to make the donuts on site, like they just didn't have the dough, I suppose. But yeah, I guess it depends on what exactly the situation was. But yeah, if you can't even deliver on your signature item, even if you've changed your name, people still expect to go there and get a donut. So yeah.
It's insane, right? I mean, it's amazing how big they grew because they started only in 1950, and they're already at 13,200 locations.
Dunkin' has more than 9,500 stores nationwide.
That's amazing, right?
Well,
I don't know. That seems pretty crazy, right?
yeah. Well, I guess they can dodge it a little bit since they took donuts out of the name, but yeah. But obviously, even though they did so, people are still expecting donuts when they go there. So it wasn't a very good rebranding.
No,
Seems like a silly
dumb.
rebranding. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they need to go back. I don't know. Let's see what the audience has to say because I like to do that. And then we're going to move on to the next segment. Audience says they ran out of flour. I don't know. I can't answer these questions. This is insanity. They stopped making donuts at the Dunkin' Donuts all pre-cooked. I did not know that either.
That's so stupid. That's so stupid.
My store actually, well, it is what it is.
What happened to craftsmanship? God darn it.
Time to make the donuts. Apparently not.
Yep.
Jerkweeds. Anyway. Jeez. I hate to use such harsh language in front
I know. Gosh, oh man, my ears are burning.
Scribe. Well, look, Tom and I don't exactly have the same vocabulary. Or use
this is true. You neither of you have the same vocabulary.
He is more he's able to clearly let you know how he feels about something. And this,
Yes.
again, I'm talking about one of my best pals. So, but yeah, no, I don't know how he does it. The emphasis in his words, so strong.
Yep. He's got that tenor to his voice when he gets really excited.
True story. I saw Nick, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, in the house, and I just want to say, I love you, bro. Keep up what you
And Polly's in there too. He put a super chat in.
You're kidding me.
Really? I am not. I am quite literally not kidding you.
Oh, all right. Well, you know, one of my favorite people on the internet is Polly, Latino Slant. Latino Slant has one of those channels that you should be subscribed to, not just because he gave me $5, but because he has stuff you will find nowhere else. He's unique. All hail Scribe and that hairy dude. Dude, Polly, I love you, man. I think I interviewed you on one of these shows. If I haven't, I am criminally responsible for not having you on. And if I have had you on before, I should have you on again because you're criminally undersubscribed. So there's that. So thank you, Latino Slant, and all of you out there that have been contributing to today's show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, when I started my channel, I was told a lot by people that I was criminally undersubbed. And when I hit 500 subscribers, and this is back in 2016, mind you. Oof. And so when I hit 500 subscribers, I said, when I hit 500 subscribers, I'm going to do a series called Criminally Undersubbed, and I'm going to highlight people that need more subscribers. And I started doing that. And then I had strangers coming up to me and say, hey, can you do one for me? And I'm like, it became very awkward very quick to be solicited to advertise for a channel I never heard of before, and also to try to let somebody down. Like I know, so I stopped doing that series.
I mean, it's I'm very fortunate because the people that are here are people I've known forever. So it's truly a gift. Like when people like Scott Westbrook are generous and they send me my favorite super sticker of a Shiba dog. In fact, all of the Shiba dog stickers are my favorites for 5 Culture Casino clams. Just clapping his hands. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you. I know I do.
Yeah, on my channel, that's that character became his own thing. That's Dog Cat Fox over on my channel. That's my pet that lives with me on the. Yeah, because when we. Yeah, when he first showed up, I couldn't tell. Was he a dog, a cat, or a fox? So I called him Dog Cat Fox, and he lives with me on the moon. He's my genetic companion. Mistake companion.
I'm sorry. I wish I could say that doesn't make sense, but that makes perfect sense.
There's a whole lore built around Dog Cat Fox on my channel.
Fair enough. Well, on that note, I'm just going to say thank you to everybody who's contributed today. And of course, our good friend Kitty Bear sent me a pile of poop with a smiley face. In fact, let's get that on the screen right now.
Purple.
Yep. And that's an amazing. These are euros. That's a fancy E. It means it's a euro.
Yep. $2 E.
Another wonderful super sticker. You know who sends me the most poop smiley faces?
Is it someone who's German?
No, it's 6.
Oh, okay. I can believe it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna be poop faced, you should be smiling. Anyway, we got to move on. We've got to we've spent we only have 27 minutes of show left. We must go. We must press forward.
Hurry. Right, speed run.
News stories. These are actual news stories, Scribe. So watch out.
Actual news.
We're going to spill some news. I'm a spill. Yeah. These are things that happened, and almost all of them today, which, again, unusual for this show.
It's been a busy week.
You have no idea. I was like, I wrote, do you know how many articles I wrote this week? I wrote a ton of articles this week. I'm going to have to write 4 more this weekend. Plus, I have to record a bunch of videos because guess what? The news was bananas, right? I mean, in our sphere especially, it's been crazy. Let's get into this one. But are you familiar? There's a social media platform that, some people are super upset about because, they're not here in the States and, they have some different opinions than us. And, anyway, I think it's called tic-tac-toe or something.
Yeah, no, I think I might have heard of that.
Yeah, you might have heard of that. Okay, well, let's take a look at this story because I've been covering this for a while. You see, TikTok thanks Donald Trump for commitment to work with us. Wow, this is odd. Yeah, work with us to find a solution after the Supreme Court says, suck it.
Yeah, it's interesting that the Supreme Court has upheld this ban. It's supposed to take place on Sunday, but Biden's not going to enforce it, and Trump probably won't enforce it either when he takes office.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, well, this is going to happen, but not.
Yeah, if Congress is determined that it's an actual risk to national security, then I'm not quite sure what the problem is. Everybody's freaking out about this, and I'm just thinking to myself, and maybe this is just my old fuddy-duddy sense, but it was like, oh my God, they're going to get rid of TikTok. And I'm like, oh no, what will we do without TikTok? And my next question is, what did we do before TikTok? Oh, I think we'll all survive. What is the biggest thing at stake here is just advertising dollars, which will find another home immediately if TikTok goes off the air. It's not, I don't understand why people are thinking this is the end of the world or anything.
It's not. It's just, it's like, and you and I talked about this, I think, before this morning, maybe even. I don't think anybody cares other than the creators. Now, those creators are going to go somewhere else. I mean, Hollywood Reporter clearly outlined that today, saying, well, everybody's going to farm those millions of creators. Yes. And they're already farming themselves out, technically, because they're going over to quote unquote Red Note, which is, differently named in
just
China.
TikTok too. Yeah.
Yeah. Except that they have like restrictions in place, which means you can't spill your propaganda all over the rainbow flag. They don't enjoy that in China. I bet you didn't know.
Right. Oh, I had some notion. But before TikTok, there was Vine. After TikTok, there'll be something else. I mean, this is not the end all be all. If this was YouTube or something, okay, not just because I'm personally attached to it, but because that's a pretty major media platform. But TikTok, I don't know.
Well, okay, so here's the weird thing, right? Is guess who owns Vine?
I don't recall.
Well, Twitter.
Oh, I did not know that. So Elon Musk owns Vine?
Yeah, as far as I know.
No. So if TikTok goes bye-bye, he just resurrects Vine and takes all the market share?
I don't know why he hasn't already.
Yeah, probably.
That's really where TikTok came from, was Vine.
Yeah.
And we all know that. That's the weirdest thing. I don't know. It's going to come back in some shape or form. I would love Mr. Wonderful to buy it. The guy, from Shark thing.
Kevin O'Leary?
Yeah.
Okay. That guy's kind of a scuzzball, but whatever.
Well, he's my kind of scuzzball. But anyway,
all right.
It's fine. But I've been called a scuzzball. I've been called a fuzzball, which is okay.
Well, at least that latter one is at least technically accurate.
It is. Anyway, Scribe. So your sentiments here are that something will come along.
It's much ado about nothing as far as I'm concerned. There's so many alternatives to it, whether they're Chinese-based or not, and the market will find a way. I mean, TikTok generates so much advertising money. It will find a home elsewhere. The creators will find homes elsewhere. Anybody who wanted to try to launch their career off of TikTok, now would be the time to start to expand themselves.
Yeah.
I don't understand what all the hubbub is. I really, really don't.
And I'm one of those weird people that say that you should, if you're a creator, you should be every place you can be. So
it's true. I really need to start putting stuff out on Rumble or something, because I'm on X and YouTube. But
yeah, if you do that, you'll notice a difference. And look, I mean, if you make exclusive content on the platforms, like you do a little segment like for each thing, it'll increase your exposure, because you'll be like, oh, and if you want to see my thoughts on this, go blah blah blah. I promise you that YouTube will hate that, but I've just watched people grow their business by being everywhere. So, I would do TikTok, but I like my data, not in China. So.
Yeah, I just want my data exploited in the United States. Gosh dang it, that's it. Just if it's going to be exploited at all, keep it at home.
That's right. Exploit me here. That doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't. No.
I'm so glad I stopped.
You need to think before you speak. Just a life lesson.
Well, thanks. There.
You're welcome.
Scribe.
You're welcome.
Anyway, we're gonna look at what you guys have to say. So TDBB says I missed Vine. It was basically just a short form video platform.
Yeah. It was TikTok 1.0 kind of.
Yeah. And Tina, good morning or afternoon. Good morning. I think Tina's on the east side, so it's good night. Good night, Tina. Hope you're doing well. Kit Kat says people are addicted to TikTok. I agree with you, but they're addicted to lots of brain chemicals that now you can get free hits of all the time.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only I don't know if I'll call it an upside, but the only argument that I can see for it is that people have become quite literally addicted to it. So it is a social media narcotic, and that's the only reason that it's being fought over, really.
It's like this really weird dopamine cycle.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You get the little hits of dopamine. I mean, it's the drug is already in your body. This is just a delivery mechanism. So, TikTok's just one giant syringe.
Which is why I think people's brains are under processing information now.
Yes. Yep.
Because their receptors are full of all these other chemicals, these reward chemicals.
Yeah, my attention span has been absolutely nuked in the last 10 or 15 years. I can't help it. I've been trying to get away from looking at Twitter every 3 seconds and everything else, but it's tough, man.
I've started my own defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
I have actually, hey, dude, bro, what's up? I've actually started to take time out a few hours a day to read.
Yes. I got a Kindle not too long ago, a little cheap one, and I loaded it up with Conan stories and a whole bunch of other stuff. And when I need to, I just force myself to lay down, turn on the Kindle, and read a Conan story or something else. Yeah.
That sounds so good. Like the original ones, or
Oh yeah. This is the unabridged Robert E. Howard. Put into chronological order of Conan's career as far as the things, not necessarily publication order. So you're kind of reading them within the boundaries of all the other stories that they're branched off of. Yeah.
Speaking of the boundaries of other stories, I want to say a big shout out and thank you to Weatherman for gifting Dude Bro Seth 420 a membership on Rumble. That's right. Thank you, my friend. Davina Duckworth says Babylon B said Gen Z has 4.3 seconds of attention span. I actually collected that meme today. I actually collected the meme today. It's in my stash. Give me the stash. Speaking of give me the stash, give me the cash. Kaliki Okedi for 2 over on Rumble says the only caveat to this could be considered as government overreach. Oh, yeah, true. The government deemed TikTok unsafe. What other apps would it eventually consider unsafe? Does their reaching hand stop here? I think that's a good question, and thank you for the $2 in culture clams. What do you think about that?
Everything collects our data now, and if the argument is that if a product or an app originates with a country who is technically one of our rivals / enemies, and they're collecting data, if that makes it immediately a national security concern? Well, what's stopping China from buying the same information from data brokers elsewise?
Well,
yeah.
I understand that sentiment, but I also think that we should actually eliminate the ability for people to gather information that
I do too.
Willingly offer.
I do too. Yeah, private information should be much more locked down than it is.
And I will tell you right now, the FTC agrees with me. There was they just put a ruling out against GM gathering your information without you willingly offering it to them in the first place.
Yeah, the problem is that once you turn the spigot off, all that means is that all the water's still in the pool. It's just that everybody after that point benefits.
I think you drain the water.
The information never dies. If my social security number is going to be the same one from now until the end of time, so if it's in a database somewhere, somebody's already got it.
Right, but I think then you make laws. By the way, social security number is never supposed to be used as a form of identification. So
yeah, right.
I'm telling you.
It shouldn't be, but it is oftentimes.
It was stated in the formation of it. So I'm just going to tell you that information needs to not be tied to anything that's a financial item. And then
I agree.
You remove everything. Tina Guzman gives me a $1.49 banana. Thank you.
Wait, that was.
What was
that? What was that? That was weird.
We think the same.
Oh,
by the way, I think the same. I just want to say thank you to Weatherman for gifting another Culture Casino membership. You are amazing. Incredible. And I got my own. I actually gifted it to me. Weatherman gifted me a membership to my own channel. Holy crap!
Wow, there you go. That's meta.
Phantom Eric was gifted a Culture Casino membership from my friend Weatherman. The Weatherman. You guys are on fire tonight. Look at this. Look at this. Yep. And this is true. Thank you, ID 3138. Excuse me, JD 3138. Social Security number was not supposed to be used as ID right after Nixon was impeached. Well, there you go. All right. And I just want to say thank you to Weatherman for your generosity, my friend. Two. He's the count over there.
I still haven't set up memberships on my channel.
You should do it.
I got my reservations about certain things. I'm trying to convince myself this is a hobby and not a job in a way. But I don't know. I'm weird like that.
It's Phantom Eric, not Eric K.
There's
By
two
the way,
different
Eric
Erics.
K is the greatest. Eric K is the greatest mod ever. He's often here, but he's never seen.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
he's like a unicorn or Bigfoot.
I'm going to see him right around Super Bowl time in Orlando. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Everything is sorted out, and we've got many people gathering up other people in content houses, all surrounding the event for the meetup. Ooh. So it will be a party.
So for the duration of the Super Bowl, you will be a Florida man.
Florida man. That's true.
Okay.
It's actually true. All right, we got another story we got to get to, and we are running incredibly out of time. This one's the most important, though, and this is the one I wanted to talk to you about because we didn't get to talk about it today. I mentioned it during the limited time we had together. I'm so glad we had this time together. That's from Carol Burnett show.
I take your word for it. Are you gonna pull on your earlobe now?
Well,
there you go.
I just pulled out some hair.
Ow.
Right, so yeah, that was a mistake. All right, let's take a look at this story. I love this story. This made me smile, and I did a video on it that I just dropped. If you're interested in the balance of this conversation, go check out today's video right after you're watching this. In parallel to watching Ascended Art, which you're going to actually get redirected to next. But let's get over there now. CNN reaches a settlement with security consultant after jury found network liable for defamation. They reached a settlement.
I watched it live.
They were on the hook for $5 million plus.
Yes. Yeah, they'd gotten through the initial penalty phase, and then they were going to move on to the punitive phase for phase 2. And then in the break that they took for lunch, the parties settled off to the side somehow for some, at least as far as I know, as of yet undisclosed amount. I don't know if they've said otherwise.
I want it disclosed.
Yes, I do too. I want to know how much CNN's getting hit for this, because they should take a decent hit for this. And I was just dying to know what the jury was going to do, because the original amount was $100 billion or something crazy.
Yeah, but they didn't let them settle on punitive damages.
No,
no. I don't think this guy should have settled. I said, let's see what the jury says.
I would not have settled.
Then it goes on record, and nobody else in this sphere could ever do what they did to this guy.
Yeah, I don't understand why they settled, because it's like you've already netted, at worst, you're walking away with $5 million, which, in the grand scheme of things, of a family and a career and everything else and reputation, maybe that's not a lot, but sure as heck, the jury was going to, if they were willing to give up that much on the first round, punitive was going to be something significant as well. And again, like you say, it should send a message. By doing this, you let CNN off the hook. Why would you do that? I don't understand the thinking behind things like that.
And you allow them to say something asinine like this. We remain proud of our urinalists and are 100% committed to strong, fearless, fair-minded reporting, despite the fact that we disparage this person so terribly.
Right.
Publicly, in a way that hammered his reputation and his business. They didn't put that part in, by the way. Though we will, of course, take what useful lessons we can from this case.
See, a successful the defamation cases are so difficult to prove most times.
This one was successful.
A successful case that actually did made a statement and put people on warning, especially these days with the deterioration of journalism as a necessary element of our society. I think would have done a heck of a lot more good than this sidewise settlement does. So I really do not understand the thing. What was there to gain, or I said, what was there to be lost by just letting it go to the jury? What was going on behind the scenes? I don't understand the thinking.
Well, somebody said or tried to limit the what he could earn.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably the attorneys that talked him into it, by the way, because they could earn more money. But
Sure.
it was probably greater than the $5 million plus the punitive damages that the attorneys had speculated they would reach, because there was something terrible that happened today. Do you want to know what it was?
I love terrible news. Sure. What?
Especially for CNN.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, CNN does not make any money.
I'm not surprised.
Let me tell you why. Let me show you something.
Tell me why ain't nothing
no.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
So rating-starved CNN's revenues dropped roughly $400 million in 3 years.
I have a parasocial relationship with certain CNN personalities from the talk show I used to be on long ago. Chris Cillizza, who's no longer at CNN, thankfully, and Brian Stelter, who's now back at CNN. It couldn't have happened to a nicer news company after all these years. That's great.
Yeah, this is important, folks, because this tells you how much they suck rocks. So they had to send in their financial guy to testify today as to what CNN makes, because they were in the punitive phase.
Yes.
So CNN's revenue tanked roughly $400 million in 3 years, according to financial metrics shared at the network defamation trial on Friday.
Do you know how much they spent on the failed CNN Plus project?
$1 billion.
$300 million.
No, well, I thought at the end of the day, between startup costs, cancellation costs, all that, am I wrong?
Unless I am completely brain farting.
No, I believe you. I believe you.
I believe, at least the publicly released cost was they spent $300 million on that project, and it lasted like 10 weeks or 10 days or something, and then it died off. So $400 million in 3 years, I'm not surprised. They've been doing terrible things.
So here's how things like this work out. So a forensic economist revealed that the ratings challenge network brought in roughly $2.2 billion in revenue in 2021, $2 billion in revenue in 2022, and $1.8 billion in 2023. And we didn't even get the 2024 numbers.
No.
So this represents a $400 million or 18% drop.
It's going to be worse with 2024's numbers, no doubt.
It will. But not only did that, was that bad, Warner Brothers Discovery owned network had a cash flow profit of only $429.9 million. So he could have been a recipient of punitive damages that were considerable. It's supposed to be punitive, punishable.
Yes.
Punishment. And that, if they gave him 10%, that would have been another $42 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they settled.
I still wouldn't have done it. I would have sent the message. I would have. I don't understand why you go on a crusade like this for your reputation, your name, and everything else if you don't take the offender. Yeah, if you don't take it to the end, you don't take them to the woodshed. It makes it. I've seen many cases like this where they settle all of a sudden when they know they won. This isn't an instance where it's like, it's a coin toss as it went out. The jury's going to come back in our favor. He already won. He already won. Now it's just a matter of to what degree did he win beyond $5 million. So I wish they'd taken it all the way.
Okay, and to that end, right? So do I. But a lot of people aren't loaded like Gina Carano. Gina Carano is going to win that suit against Disney, and then And that opens a floodgate, the likes of which we've never seen. Actually, technically, this case does too, because it shows just how flawed these news organizations are. And if you selectively pick the things that you want from a news organization, it's going to reveal just how corrupt they are from the within. They don't have
Mm-hmm.
any kind of journalistic ethics or et cetera. But Randy Thoto says ABC, CNN next. ABC is going to settle.
Yep.
CBS is going to settle with Trump because there's a $10
Yes.
billion lawsuit out there they don't want any smoke from. And Melania's suit is extraordinary. These
Well,
people,
they don't want to go through discovery. Just like with CNN, they don't want to have all the books opened up.
no, because what happened to CNN? Their books got opened up, their internal communications, and it revealed everything that made the judge actually comment on just how corrupt they were.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy stuff. So, yeah. And Randy Thoto's like, quickly, resign Scott Jennings. Who else do they have? They got nobody. They have nobody with journalistic ethics at all.
Wait, what about Wolf Blitzer?
Wolf looked like a complete idiot who didn't want
I
to cover
know.
the fact that the California wildfires were clearly caused by terrible mismanagement, which Bill Burr was a super douche about.
Yeah, I love all
ABC's so boned. They don't even know it.
Well, look who's running them.
Yeah.
We're coming up on the wire here.
Yeah. Oh, we are. And we'll get there in about a minute or so. I just want to say that this has been an extraordinary conversation. I want to have more of these. So
sure.
You may find yourself on a different show. Showing everybody your brilliance, because I think you truly deserve it. But
thank you.
In fact, I think you deserve a few moments to yourself. So we're going to do something on this show that I like to do. I like to give you an opportunity to plug yourself.
And here I am all by myself to promote myself for a minute or three here. So hi, everybody. My name's Scribe Light. I've been on YouTube just a little bit over 8 years now. I have a channel that has gone through, has many eclectic topics that I've covered over the years. But ever since the pandemic, it's kind of winnowed down to doing live streams because having to work, I have a regular day job. So having to work in the same room and then think about doing editing and scripting and a whole bunch of other stuff for scripted content like I used to do a lot of. It's just become live streams. It's much more casual. Plus the fact I get to interact with you guys, the audience, much more, and which makes it far more invigorating for me and enjoyable. My feature presentation on my channel these days, and has been even back in the scripted days, is something I call TED Excellence. TEDx, if you don't know, is the off-brand of TED Talks. And as far as I'm concerned, it is an excellent, excellent venue for any subject you can think of. Somebody has something to say on it, and oftentimes it is people that are not necessarily the most professional, but their ideas and their pitches on different things may be the leading edge of things that will become mainstream later. And if nothing else, I look for things that have subject matter that I either reflexively find bizarre or would inherently disagree with, but I look at those things because I want to be able to entertain an idea without necessarily having to accept it. And if nothing else, learn better what I don't agree with so that I can understand what the other side of the argument is. Because you never know. You could have your mind changed, you could learn something, and it's always better to know what you're disagreeing with than just reflexively disagreeing with something. So I encourage critical thinking with bingo cards for TEDx's that challenge myself and the audience to take a look and assess how good a presentation is, even if it's something we might find bizarre. Beyond that, I do a Sunday stream on Sundays, if you can believe it, where I'm looking at news of the day. And elsewise, I could say more, but there's a minute left, and I know there's an outro that has to go because we have to flip over to the next presentation. So back to culture.
I will say that was not just extraordinary time management. I will also say that I cannot overstate how entertaining Scribe is on his channel. So do yourself and me a favor, and of course him, and he will thank you. Check out his channel over on Scribe Light and subscribe because he's refined his content in a way that most of us just don't have enough energy, or we're just too lazy to actually do ourselves. So, Scribe, thanks for joining me today. I hope you found this time satisfying, and I look forward to seeing you elsewhere soon. Perhaps you'll join me on some analysis videos going forward.
I'd be happy to.
Fair enough. On that note, I just want to say thank you to all the audience out there for catching today's presentation. We will be returning to the show on the regular, more guests lined up here in the future, and we will even be doing this live from Florida on Super Bowl weekend while we do a meetup, which I'm very excited for. On that note, thank you, Weatherman. Thank you, everybody who contributed to the program. And as always, check out Ascended Art, who I think you will find enjoyable and humorous and not without substance, which is something that I think is complimentary considering all of which we watch every day on YouTube. On that note, we are the media. You are the audience. You are the great supporters, and you keep channels like mine alive. So please consider being subscribed to my channel if you happen upon it. And if you're watching on the replay, down in the comments below, just say Replay Gang, and I will know. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. And until next time, see ya.
Bye, guys.